Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us.
What's up, guys? We are back. It's been a few weeks, but On Deck is back. Brought to you by Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am the host, Big B. I am joined by my man, Syrup Crispy Bacon. How you doing, bud?
Not too bad. Hope everyone's having a great day and, everyone's teams are fighting for a playoff spot.
Yes, exactly. And hopefully he'll be back, but Big Dog Greg is with us. And we got Coach D, the leader of the Mets. How's it going, bud?
I don't know about leader, but doing good. Nice long weekend. I did go out to Dallas National Cemetery yesterday. Paid my respect to my brothers and sisters out there. I try to do that at least every other year. It's quite the thing. It's emotional, patriotic, stirring, and you meet a lot of guys and girls, and you talk with them, and you feel an instant connection. I did 26 years in the Air Force, so that camaraderie of military people, the brotherhood we have, it's unlike any other. So I try to go out there, pay my respects and everything. So it's always good. It was a beautiful day, 90 and breezy, very nice. Glad I did it.
That's good, and
gets the emotions a little stirred. Makes you feel proud, though.
Yeah.
When you're walking amongst the tombstones, sometimes you come upon a day that makes you go, wow. And the one that always gets me is when I see June 6, 1944. And there's a lot of them, so, the guy's 19, 20, 18, so it's always a thing. It's, I'm very patriotic, so it always gets me.
No, that's good, and I just want to say thank you for your service. And I read your little touching story you had with a 12-year-old, I think it was.
Oh, good, yeah, that
was really nice to see.
That was yes. I see that kid all the time. He's right down the street from me. He sells lemonade with one of his little friends.
Okay.
And I was walking by him, and he said, "Are you a veteran, sir?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I am. I did 26 years in the Air Force." And, just like I said in the thing, he said, "My dad flew F-18s in the Navy." And I'm like, well, I know exactly what he did because I worked on fighter jets. So I know what his job was.
All right.
Very nice young man.
Well, that's good.
If I ever meet the parents, I'm going to shake their hand because they are doing a good job with that young man. He's always very polite, very straightforward. He can't say enough words about him.
No, that's good.
That's the way I want our country to go.
Yes, we definitely do more of that. So, Big Dog Greg, Mr. G, what's up, buddy?
Oh man, just kind of doing the sub life still for the schools and just out enjoying the weather these days. What are you up to?
Not much. Took a day off yesterday, so I got a nice little 3-day weekend here. Spent it with the family. Ready to talk some sports, though, guys. So, Greg, let's start with you. What's the Cardinals been up to?
Well, the Cardinals are just kind of hanging in there. I mean, it looks like it's going to be kind of a fight for second place. The Brewers are just playing excellent baseball right now. They've definitely moved up, especially in the power rankings. So we're just trying to keep pace and not fall too far behind. Behind the Brewers. We're not doing too bad. We're kind of plugging in a little bit, every now and then. Arenado's missed a few games here and there, and we seem to be So we're just trying to get some stability going on because we got a pretty young lineup and everything, and our pitching's not terrible, but we've definitely had some issues, personal issues with Carlos Martinez and everything. So we're still about 4 or 5 games over 500, so I can't complain. But we're not really lighting the league on fire or anything right now.
Yeah, it looks like you're sitting. It looks like you're sitting 6 games above 4 back of Milwaukee. So, and then I saw we're off a couple weeks ago. Cardinals had another pitcher debut. Yadier threw an inning there and did his best Pujols impression. It looked like so.
Yeah, I think some of these guys getting close to retirement. I think they're just letting them. I don't know what the deal is. Kind of like when they let old Jose Canseco and Wade Boggs and some of those guys out there with the floater. Remember the old Boggsy floater and that.
Yep.
It is interesting to note that Albert and Yachty have the exact same ERA. 30.
Oh, yeah, they had the same stat line too. So
same stat.
So Chris, what about you and those mighty Texas Rangers that supposedly somebody said that has the best rivalry, which we'll talk about against the Oakland A's.
Yeah.
So what's the Rangers been up to?
I'm trying to look up the exact stats, but I think we won.
You're third. You're third right now. 23 and 24, 7 back.
If they win tonight, they get to 500.
There you go.
But so far, we won like 5 of our last 6 games. Yeah, here we go. And 17 and 10 over the last 27. So that's not bad.
Nope.
I mean, we've
Getting
been
it
on
together.
a little winning streak. So hopefully continue that. Last night we had a rookie pitcher and he played well.
That's good. That's good. Now, I know there's been a lot of stories with the Mets here, Dirk, so I know you got a lot to talk about. So what's going on with the mighty Mets?
Let's go Mets, baby. Yes, we are chugging along. Scherzer went down with an injury.
Yep.
No matter. David Peterson will step up. He'll get right in. Tyler McGill down for a few weeks. No matter. Other guys step up. Them two should be back in a week or two. I think McGill is just about ready to come back. I think Scherzer maybe 2 weeks. Jacob DeGrom was supposed to throw off the mound yesterday or the day before. I haven't read anything. So once he starts off the mound, give him like probably 3 weeks. But the young guys, Carrasco, Bassett, man, they're stepping up. They're pitching. Their starting pitching has been good. Whoever's been asked to come up has been pitching. And pitching staff has been really good. Edwin Diaz has been mostly really good. He's had 1 or 2 moments, but overall he's doing really well. And now it's getting into June, and the Mets are in first place, 33 and 17. And the bats are heating up, and they're all heating up. And I've been waiting a year and a half to say this. Francisco Lindor is officially hot. He is tearing it up. Sterling Marte, tearing it up. As a matter of fact, he's already hit a home run today. And
Wow.
Pete Alonso, Polar Bear, that guy is a beast. Do not pitch to him if there's runners on base. He is
true.
RBI hog. He has 47 at this point of the year. He's looking at 150 RBI season. And even in his down year, he had a lot of RBIs, last year he missed like 6 weeks, but he still ended up 35 home runs, 90 plus RBIs. Batting average wasn't great, but He's hitting 285. He's got 13 bombs, 47 RBI. He's a beast. You don't want to pitch to him, you know. And the other guys in the lineup, Eduardo Escobar, he's starting to heat up, right? And Guillermo's playing good. Jeff McNeil playing second base. He's like 6th or 7th in the National League in hitting. You know, he's a good contact 300 hitter, doubles power. He'll hit 15 or 20 home runs. I was watching them against the Mets against the Giants last week, and it was talked about. They were at San Francisco, and McNeil was at bat, and there was a heckler, and you could totally hear him on the thing. McNeil, you can't hit nothing. McNeil, you're a lightweight. Bam! He deposits one in the right center field, and you didn't hear from the guy the rest of the game. Even the announcers were laughing at it. But man, I'm so proud of this club. They're winning game. You know, a couple of weeks ago, they were down 7 runs against the Phillies, scored 8 runs to win the game. You know, they're doing the things you do as a quality team. Called up a rookie the other day, Nick Plummer, first major league at bat. Guess what? Walk-off home run. And then last night he hits another one. You know, it's like, this is what a team is. Team is everybody's saying, yeah, but they tanked last year. They were in first place. Well, last year there were 3 games over 500, and the whole National League East was horrible. Everybody was losing, right? They're freaking, you know, they're 15 games over 500. They're killing it.
Yep.
They beat the Phillies. The Phillies now own the most losses in Major League history. Thank you, Mets, sweeping the Phillies. You know, and they're just playing great. I'm loving it, having a good time. You know what? Scherzer's coming back. McGill's coming back. They're getting healthier. Who knows what DeGrom is going to be like? Right now, we haven't needed him, but if he comes back, let's play fantasy here. If he comes back and
you're going to be sitting around
150 innings in the rest of the year, man, what a pitching staff, you know?
All right. Yeah. So I actually got a question, and kind of Jason kind of wants to ask kind of the same question. So you're saying that the Mets are going to choke this year. So
no.
When does the choking start?
The choking won't start. This is a different team. One, they got Buck Showalter. I think he's made such a difference. The Cowboys in the MLB. Okay.
I knew that's coming.
How many Super Bowls does your team have? Okay. Anyway, I think Showalter has made.
He has made a difference. I do gotta say that. I think he's made a difference.
They are playing smart baseball. Last year, you'd watch a game and they're like, "Why are they doing that? Why are they doing that?" This year, they're taking advantage of pitchers. They're stealing a base when you don't think they would. Defensively, Lindor and McNeil a couple of years ago, they had a little thing. You know, nobody knows what it really was, but they were saying McNeil and Lindor, they get each other now. They're solid up the middle. They get each other. It could have to do a lot with when they finally got rid of Cano. That means Lindor is going to be there every day, second baseman. Yep. He can play some outfield, you know, because they like Guillermo. He's good at second, short, or third, you know, but, you know, the Mets are looking good. They look nothing like that team last year. This team is different.
Well, and they're up by 9.5 right now?
Yeah, so 9 games over Atlanta. Yeah, everybody, even so-called fans are saying, oh, well, we're just waiting for them to choke. They choked last year. That's last year. They had a ton of injuries. There's reasons. This year, the players, you know, last year Lindor was out for 8 weeks. Alonso was gone for 6 weeks.
Yep.
You know, Nimmo was gone for a while. DeGrom missed half the year. The pitching staff, everything that could go wrong went wrong. You know,
Yeah.
more injuries than other teams. Forget last year. This is a good team.
Tim's chiming in, spoken like a true Cowboy fan.
Yep, he's
And then Jason's chiming in.
coming in like a true Mariners fan.
So he's got a question. Jason also has a comment. You honestly sit there and tell the fans watching that the Mets will beat the Dodgers in the playoffs.
Well,
Oh.
let's wait for the playoffs to get here in 4 months. Okay, before we start talking about playoffs. Okay,
Yeah. I think that. I mean, honestly, right now, even with DeGrom and Scherzer, you know, I mean, the Mets probably can hang with the Dodgers. It probably goes 7. You know, you know, like you said, Dirk, you get DeGrom back and Scherzer back, it might be a different story. So
yeah,
but-
it's 4 months away. So much
yep.
can happen.
God, 4 months away, jeez. But anyway, so my Twins,
Right?
you know,
Well, the rest of June,
yeah,
July, August, September.
yep.
So 3.5 months away.
Yeah,
Okay.
but man, so my
I
Twins
know.
have been still shocking the world. They're kind of catching the injury bug, the COVID bug right now. So
Mhm.
you know they're sitting at 30-10, 10 games over 500. They are losing currently to the Tigers in the second game of a doubleheader,
Mhm.
which honestly, Roger Clemens' boy debuted today at second base for them. So.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, once the Twins, you know, get over this injury bug, I mean, Buxton's they're playing him, you know, kind of like they did Mauer, a game here, game there, DH. You know, they brought up Royce Lewis back, put him in center field. He got hurt, which, you know, that's why I'm sitting here. But I think that was the dumbest thing to do was to put him in center field. And I know you want to get his bat in the lineup, but you know, he's just, you know, shortstop, DH, you know, first base or something. But one game down in the minors at center field, and you bring him up, and you know, granted, it could have happened anywhere. So I think that was a poor choice on them. But yeah, so right now, I mean, you know, we're looking at some scores here. Like I said, the Twins. Looks like that's the only game going on right now. Or no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the Twins schedule. Of course, that would be the only game going on. Let's get to the regular schedule. All right, so we got the Guardians over the Royals, 8-3. Phillies over the Giants, 1-0. Yankees over the Angels, 5-0. Mariners beating up on the Orioles, 8-0. There you go, Tim. Your Mariners are winning.
Their World Series.
Yeah. Blue Jays up 2-1 on the White Sox. Tie game, Reds and the Red Sox. Like I said, the Twins and Tigers in a second game of a doubleheader, 4-0 Tigers. Bottom of third, you got the Mets and the Nationals, 2-0 Mets. Padres and the Cardinals are tied. Cubs 1-0 over the Brewers. And just started bottom of the first. Royals Rangers tied at 0. The Twins beat the Tigers in the first game 8-2. Rockies Marlins got postponed, and we got 3 games tonight. So guys, with that being said, let's move on. One topic I know we all been kind of itching to get to talk about, and I actually forgot about this until Big Dog Greg brought it up. So somebody posted on Facebook, and we all know who it is. I'm not going to throw his name out there, Isaiah, but the best rivalry in baseball, he claims, is the Rangers and Oakland A's. So,
How many shots of tequila was he in?
well, that's what we're still trying to figure out. But so, I mean, right off the top of our head, I guarantee we can come up with 5 to 10 rivalries better than that one, and it still probably wouldn't even make number 11. So, Dirk, I'll start with you. Give me 5 best rivalries that you consider in baseball.
Okay. The top couple, they're close, but they're not close. The number one by far, okay. And
You're gonna have a hard time saying it, I know.
sorry, West Coast, but by far, and it is probably the best rivalry in sports, is Red Sox Yankees. You have no idea when a player becomes on either team, the split second they walk into the dugout, they hate the other team. They might have had no feelings before. There's some kind of magic aura when a guy joins the Red Sox, comes up to the Red Sox. He walks in the dugout. First thing he says, "Let's go get some effing Yankees." You know, same thing with the Yankees. They walk into the dugout. Where's the Red Sox? I want to kick their butt. You know, it's fun. It does get crazy. The fans are crazy. They have all the right ingredients. They have voracious fans, dedicated fans that basically live their lives through their teams, you know. And it's right. It's the Northeast, you know, you got the attitude and everything. That's the best rivalry in baseball and in sports, in my opinion. Okay. The second best.
So hold on, before you move on to number 2, can we all agree that that's probably everybody's number 1? I don't think there's another number 1 rivalry. So I agree with you. Yankees, Red Sox. All right, Derek, go ahead with your number 2.
Okay, the number 2, it's a big one, but it's far behind Yankees, Red Sox. It's Dodgers, Giants. That is a crazy rivalry, okay? It goes back, well, they used to be in New York together. They were rivals back then, you know, and it went to the West Coast in 1958. They moved out there, year I was born. And
I was going to say you helped them move.
Yeah, I did. I was loading up the trucks and everything. Freaking Willie Mays wouldn't give me his autograph. But that's the second best. True Dodger fans. Let me start a different way. Giants fans are loyal and diehard. Okay, they're Northern Californians, aka NoCal. Okay, they're also called battery chuckers. Okay, and I went to a game last year against the Diamondbacks, and they were getting on the Diamondbacks. Remember how bad they were last year? They're not that bad this year. I couldn't believe it. I was loving it because they weren't really yelling insults or calling bad names. They were just screwing with the outfielders, out there.
Most fans do.
Yeah, but they have more energy. Okay, so I think they're really loyal. They're very passionate. Now let's move down south to L.A. LA is a weird sports town, right? You got beaches, you got beautiful weather every day. There are diehard Dodger fans, but like anybody that lived out there will tell you, you go to a Dodger game, weekend, weekday. The fans get there in the 3rd inning and they leave in the 7th. Why? Because there's something else to do. They can go to the beach, they can go to the mountains. Right. And there are diehard fans that go to the games and stay there every year. I went to quite a few games at Chavez Ravine. It's really cool being there, you know, and you see these old guys, you know, they probably were Brooklyn Dodger fans, you know, they're sitting there, right? They're fans, they're loyal. There's just a little more casual about it. Okay. But, you know, come playoffs, they'll be there. Things like that. That's the second biggest rivalry. The third, and it's far behind them two. Them two, number 1 is way ahead of number 2, and them two together are way ahead of number 3. I would say the third is Cubs Cardinals.
Ooh,
and that goes back quite a ways as well. What is the I-70 series is what they call it? Is that right, Greg?
Yeah, there's only 300 miles that separates us from Chicago. So, and you know, many years ago, before the Cubs were really any good, it was kind of the highlight of the Cubs season to beat the Cardinals. So it was
but that's always been a big rivalry. Harry Carey was announcer for both teams for a ton of
Oh,
years.
he was. That's right. That's right. He was.
You know, he started out with the Cardinals, then he
Yep.
went to the Cubs, which probably fueled up the rivalry a little more because, you know,
Oh, it had
I'm
to
sure
have.
the Cardinal fans, what, you traitor? You know,
Yeah.
because, you know, one day he's Cardinals fan and the next day is, hey, how you doing? I'm a Cubs fan, you know, and that rivalry has always had some things going on.
All right.
A lot of back and forth. Let me see another. There's a lot of different ones.
About Phillies.
Mets and Phillies kind of have a thing. They've
Yeah.
always had a thing.
Yankees, Mets.
Yeah, that's a more of a natural thing. I've been to some games where the Mets played the Yankees. It's really fun being in the stands.
Yeah.
You better get used to the F-bomb because in New York, that's just a regular word. It's like saying the, you know, that's just a word. So that's all you hear. But the fans interact with each other, and it's really fun because they're calling each other names and they're insulting, but they're laughing at each other, you know.
Okay.
And yeah, of course, you had the Yankees with 27 World Championships. So, but we've had years where we get over on them too. You know, like this year, the Subway Series, it'll be awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, that should be a good one. Number 5 for you, Dirk?
I'm not going to say Padres and Dodgers because that's what all the Padre fans want. Shoot. There's a lot.
So, I mean, you said there's a lot. So, I mean, right now,
there is.
where would you, I mean, Dirk, where would you put the Rangers Ace rivalry?
What is there? 32 major league teams?
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
33.
33. All right, big dog.
The Rangers and Astros actually got a kind of it's very young because the Astros have only been in this league for what, 5 or 6 years?
Something like that, yeah.
But there's been things going on. There's a little tension when they play each other. A couple of years ago when Bannister was the Rangers coach, there was bench clearing and a lot of this, you know, and the Rangers were good. The Astros were on their way to the World Series. There's a little something, but, you know, a good rivalry is like a good wine. It needs to age.
Yep, exactly.
You know.
All right, Greg, how about you? What is your top 5? I mean, we already covered 1. So your next 4 rivalries.
Yeah, I'm right there with Dirk. As far as the Dodgers and the Giants, that's been a series that's started on the East Coast and ended on the West Coast when they were Brooklyn and the New York Giants, and then they ended up in San Francisco and Los Angeles. So that's a big time rivalry that's been going on for quite some time, and he couldn't have hit it better on the head about the differences between the two towns and how the Giants fans are pretty loyal and the Dodgers fans, you know, they kind of get distracted after 6-7 innings. A lot of them, you know.
Heck, when I went, I got distracted. I'm looking at the mountains, and it's a 3-2 ball game. You know, it's so beautiful out there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, number 3, I got to go with my Cards and the Cubs. I mean, they're only 300 miles apart, and you know, I think that right now the Cubs actually have the edge on the series as far as head-to-head, but I think my Cardinals overall have definitely fared better in time with
World Championships,
championships and winning records. So that's a really good series. I would say probably the Mets Phillies, just because you got 2 towns, you know, that are extremely involved in their sports, especially Philadelphia. Philadelphia is like one of the hardest places from a player standpoint because
or Santa
love unless you're just out there producing every day. Philadelphia doesn't have a lot of patience with any other sports teams if they're kind of lacking.
They don't have patience with Santa Claus.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, they don't.
So it's a hard drinking town, and that's definitely, you know, if they get interested in the Phillies, Phillies are supposed to be doing in their eyes. It's going to be a rough night or rough season. As far as number 5, you could put a few different series in there. I think that the Detroit Tigers and the Chicago White Sox have a pretty good rivalry going on. I think that since the Reds and the Pirates have always had a good rivalry, I don't know about this year because they're two of the worst teams in baseball, but they always seem to get some kind of rival. They always seem to get into some kind of heated confrontation.
Yeah. How about you, Chris? What do you got? I mean, talk about one of your teams, but I know you don't think that the Rangers and Oakland's the greatest rivalry ever. So,
No, I mean,
what's your top 5?
I'd probably go, Boston, New York. You probably go, like y'all said, the Houston and the Rangers. You could go some of the Phillies, rivalries. I mean, there's a lot of them.
No, there definitely is. I mean, by far, Yankees, Red Sox, by far the greatest rivalry. I mean, you got the Twins, the White Sox. You got the Cubs, White Sox. You got the Padres, Dodgers, Padres, Giants. I mean, all those. So, with that being said, I think we just debunked the fact that somebody thinks that Athletics and the Rangers are the best rivalry ever. So, and if you're listening to the person, I won't say Isaiah, but you can relist that. So, anyway, so let's get to another news story here. I forgot the 2 players, or might have been a player coach involved with the big slap heard around the world, I guess, besides
over fantasy football.
Over fantasy football, yes. Come on, guys, grow up. I mean, what do you guys think of that story? I think it's Ham and somebody arguing or holding a grudge over
Ham and Jock Peterson. They're
in the same league.
They're in the same fantasy football league.
Yes.
And they were arguing about it, making shifty moves with players.
On the
evidently they put money on this, which you can do. It's legal.
Yep.
But I think it's funny you're bringing that to your professional sports job, and you're getting pissed off at it. So
hold a grudge over, football season ended February, the first week in February.
Well, they do, but they do stuff, the hardcore ones. They churn transactions all year. They have their team that they pay for and stuff. I would never get that deep into it.
Well, even if you did, I mean, I do fantasy football. I think we all do, but come on, it's just for bragging rights, pretty much. I mean, you can pay money, win money. I get that, but
if I was manager, I'd have suspended him then, because I'm like, you're playing a game here in a little while. What the hell are you doing? But MLB suspended him because he struck another player. And I did see Jock Peterson's interview. He kind of looked like he felt silly telling about it.
Oh, yeah. I think I've read that.
He's kind of rolling his eyes. He's like, well, he said a guy was injured and he wasn't injured, and he put him on a reserve and this and that. And he's like looking at the reporter like, this is what you want to talk about?
I mean, Greg, I know you play fantasy football. I mean, have you ever been holding a grudge that long to when I see him to go slap the guy out of nowhere? I mean,
no, I never have. I had a clear path to the championship one year, and I was going against our own Adam Barber, ace.
Oh, boy.
Rodgers
that should have been an easy victory.
Yeah, it looked like an easy victory, but then Matt Flynn in his big-time performance against the Patriots.
That long ago.
About 50 points, in his first career start. And I settled for like third or fourth place with the comeback win there by plugging in for his only good game that he ever put up.
Yeah. Chris, how about you? I know you're kind of just getting into
Yeah.
the fantasy world, so
I mean, I've played a couple times and a couple, times here on the network, but no, I just play for fun. I don't
yeah.
get that into it.
I mean, it was so bad this year for my fantasy team on the network here. I was playing against a team that didn't start a quarterback, and I was losing going into the late games. And
That's bad.
hey, that that is bad, Chris. You are right. That is bad. But I wouldn't have held it against them. I was just mad. It's just like, come on. So, touch on it quick, because I really don't like talking about stories like this, but we'll touch on it quick because we've been gone for a couple weeks. Donaldson's comments towards Tim Anderson. I mean, I don't know what your guys' view on it. I mean, if the person took it to offensive, I mean, I think Donaldson did the right thing and said sorry. I think he did get suspended or is in the process of being suspended. So, Chris, I'll start with you. What do you think on the whole name calling, trying to compare you to somebody, but you took offense to it?
I mean, it should be a compliment. It should, but I know some people don't take it that way, and it's good that he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that," but different people are going to take it different ways. So
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if it was a mistake or not.
Yeah. Dirk, how about you?
It's it gets a little sort of political.
Yep.
The word double standard came up a few times.
Yep.
So, and in the past, Peterson has called him Jackie because Tim Anderson had said in the past, I'm the next Jackie Robinson. Okay.
Okay. I did not know that part.
Calls him that like as a joke. Ha. Okay, Jackie, it's a joke. So then came a play in the game and stuff, and then he called him Jackie. Okay. You can't, if a word offends you, you can't pick and choose when it offends you and when it doesn't offend you.
Yep.
He should have said the first time that he said that, hey, bro, I don't like being called that. Even though he called himself that, which happens with some guys, they say that, or certain groups call each other certain names, but the other group can't call them that name.
Yep.
That whole thing. The groups, Italians, we call ourselves, Guidos and Wops and everything. Those are actually offensive terms to a lot of Italians, right? We call ourselves that, but somebody else can't call somebody that. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that should not be the case. If you're calling somebody that as a joke, okay, just remember that's an offensive word. Don't do it in public. Do it private. If you're having a beer, you're out with friends, you call each other. That's fine. Don't do it in public. I think it got blown way out of proportion.
Yep.
Donaldson, he's always had a reputation of being a little acid-tongued, kind of gets under guys' skin. So that's probably a little bit, maybe he called him Jackie a little too many times sarcastically, and it starts to get to you. You've had friends that call you, hey, dude, stop calling me that, but that's what Tim Anderson should have done. He said, hey, can you stop calling me that? It's starting to bother me now.
Exactly.
He didn't. He just chose at that time, okay, it offends me now. And that's a little problem with today's society. Don't pick and choose. Donaldson got punished by baseball.
Yep.
Good. He probably won't stop doing agitating things. That's his personality. Tim Anderson needs to kind of, think a little more, think a little bit about what he's saying, and and kind of get a little thicker skin. That's my feeling. Okay. My feeling, my opinion only.
Yep.
Okay. I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to start anything. Bottom line, I think it's stupid. Okay.
Yep.
So, let's stop with that and stop I'm tired of sports being sensationalized for things like this. When I watch sports, I want to watch the game. That's what I want. If things happen on the field and guys get mad at each other like they do in football a lot, fine.
Right.
Stop bringing it out after the game and making that the bigger story than the game. Stop it.
Exactly. No,
That's
you're exactly right.
It is about,
Yeah. No, you're right. So, Greg, how about you? What did your take on the whole situation?
Well, I have a lot of the same sentiments as Coach D. We're living in strange times.
Yep.
We're definitely this whole woke movement and everybody getting offended over everything. If LeBron James came into the NBA, or let's say Kobe Bryant, and within their first couple seasons said that they're the next Michael Jordan, and then someone started calling them Michael Jr. or something, and they took offense to it, even though they made the same comment comparing themselves exactly to the person that they're calling. I wouldn't say that they necessarily set themselves up, but you're making that reference to yourself.
Yep.
You're getting mad that someone's calling you that because that's who you were saying that you're most like, as a player. So if this guy says I'm the next Jackie Robinson, or I'm just like Jackie Robinson, and then someone calls him Jackie, I don't really see what was so offensive about it, because he was making that reference to him about himself. But maybe there's something going on with him and Donaldson that they don't like each other. But it just seems like a lot of professional sports, especially the commissioners, are really going out of their way to regulate issues that don't really need to be, and when you're giving someone, like Trevor Bauer, he didn't get any jail time. They dropped the case and everything, and I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm not saying he's guilty. But all these hefty sentences that don't really match up. I think that I think that some of these sports leagues and the commissioners and people are really policing these things and going a little bit too far sometimes with punishment and trying to regulate all these issues and everything, and trying to tone down things. When you've got Major League Baseball trying to take an all-star game away from a city because you don't like a proposed law going on within that state. That's intermixing politics with sports, and I just don't like it. That's why I took a break from a lot of sports for a while, because I didn't like the intermixing. If I want to follow politics, if I want to watch sports, I want to watch sports. I don't really think that they need to interchange, and I think that this is kind of a dangerous spot that we're getting in with sports, and we see it on Sports Network getting very political, and they're showing their attitudes towards one side or the other, not just towards athletes, but whatever political party or stuff like that. So I think we're going in a bad direction, and we need to clean it up.
No, I think you made great points there, all you guys. For me, yeah, I'm with you guys. I think I didn't know the part that he called himself that first. So, you call yourself that, and then somebody calls you that, you get offended. I mean, that's on you. But yeah, I didn't want to take too much time, because I know, it's going to get political, and, one thing we do here at Coast to Coast is not get too involved in that, but just wanted to get you guys' points on this if we haven't seen each other in a couple weeks.
For any of our listeners, viewers, if they have an opinion, I'd like to hear what there is, because I'm open. I want to hear different theories and stuff. I won't get mad or anything, and I hope nobody got their feelings hurt about what I said. I try to be pretty non-objective. If I offend, it's totally accidental, not.
And I think Greg brought up a good point with Bauer. And I had the same things too. It's like, why is he getting punished at his job if everything got dropped? So. It is what it is. I think Greg nailed it right on the head, that a lot of these sports commissioners are trying to police everything, and they just
It's
are
kind
making
of the
it
thing
work.
of stick to
I
sport.
wonder if Manfred, because he felt that MLB needed to suspend Donaldson, okay, did he even think of calling both players into his office and having a one-on-one with the three of them, talk to them both, why, wouldn't, I would think that would help, but, suspend both of them for a game so they have time to fly out to see him. That way they both get punished, and not that either one of them deserved it more than the other, but it's important to because baseball doesn't need this. Okay,
Yeah.
baseball's a little in trouble.
Yep.
It's a lot of
Fans are down, viewerships are down. Not for me. I love the game, but there's things that need to be done, and because athletes are on TV and everybody talks to them, and now today with social media, they really get too many questions about what their opinion is.
Yeah.
I don't care what their opinion is. This is a free country. You can have your opinion. I don't want to hear you championing one thing or another, unless you're blessing God or your religion or something like that, or your family.
Yeah.
But, let's keep politics out of sports. Sports are fun. When you're a kid, it's what you do till you get out of high school, then you get jobs, and we watch them on TV. It's entertainment. It's movies. I want to watch a football game. I want to watch a baseball game. I don't want your political opinion. That has nothing to do with the game, and I'm not interested in it. You can have it, but I'm not interested in it. Even if you believe what I believe. I don't care. Did you go 2 for 4 today with a home run? Good. That's all I want to know.
Yep. So a good acquaintance of mine, Jake, he said, tuned in. Politics and sports are fully intertwined at this point, and it's not going anywhere. I think he's right, but I really wish they would split it up. I mean, and then he pops in again, and baseball needs anything good or bad to put the eyes on the sport. That is
Jake,
true.
Jake, I'd rather have good stuff. I don't.
Oh yeah, we'd rather have good stuff
about
for
the
sure.
Tim Anderson, Josh Donaldson, Jackie name calling. That's what we were kind of talking about.
Yeah, and then Jason's chiming in again. Does baseball look over,
brother?
So does baseball look over assholes like Donaldson just because of talent?
All sports do.
I agree. I think all sports look at it like that. I think they look over, it's the talent that's selling, and look at Ron Artest back in the day.
Well, you start baseball. Start with Ty Cobb.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He ended up at the end of his life. He was poor and broke.
Yeah. And Jason said, "Mr. G's the man." I think there might be a little bias there from what I know.
Is that your son?
No, that's they're good friends outside of the network.
You're his supervisor.
Yeah. So
understand.
Yeah. But I really think, not to get too far in depth, but I think we can agree politics needs to stay out. And all sports needs to treat everybody the same. I think, no matter if they're the superstars or if they're a bench player or whoever.
And unfortunately, though, sadly, Mr. Jollymore is correct. It ain't going nowhere.
Yep, it's not. No, he's definitely correct.
Maybe things should be done to not make that the big story, tone it down. That's on social media because they sensationalize.
And that's another thing too. Social media is just killing all sports.
Or
everything. Everybody out there wants to be a reporter now, and they report everything. So,
well, heck, you get YouTube people. Oh, I'm a YouTuber, and they put it on YouTube, and one hits, you know,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden they have 200,000 followers.
Yep. No, exactly. So, but guys, with that being said, one other topic I had up. We know Pujols is, this is his final year, most likely going to be first ballot 2027. I heard this topic come up on a radio station. They talked about Jeter and Griffey, being one or two votes away from being unanimous votes, and the only one to do it is Rivera. So position player wise, there hasn't been one.
Tom Seaver. Well, Tom Seaver was the first. He got
To be
100%
unanimous?
votes. Yep.
Okay, because it only lists Mariano Rivera as 100%.
First time ballot, he was the first one to ever do it.
Really? Okay, I guess
I'm pretty sure of that.
Oh no, I thought it was Rivera. I could be wrong.
I'm pretty sure Rivera was close. There's some guys.
Yeah, Rivera was 100%. I know that for sure.
Mhm.
But anyways, do we think, and without looking at stats, I mean, we know the playing career, should Pujols? Well, one, I think we could all agree that Griffey and or Jeter should have been 100%. Maybe not Dirk because he's a Mets fan, but
No, I did like and respected Derek Jeter very much. He is a good guy.
But should Pujols be the first one to get 100% of the votes? And I'll start with Greg. That's his guy.
As a position player?
As a position player.
I would absolutely love that. I think that Pujols has been really good for the game. I mean, he spent a little over a decade with the Cards, spent a decade with the Angels. Now he's back with the Cards. He's put up phenomenal numbers. He played three positions throughout his career, first, third, and outfield.
Don't forget pitcher. Come on now.
He's getting he's yeah.
He's got stats to prove it.
Yeah. So so let's put that in there for position player. But yeah, I think that he's got the numbers, definitely. He's about 15 home runs shy of the 700 club. So I definitely think that he can get 100%. But as we all know, when it comes to the Baseball Writers Association, there's more chance than not that there's going to be somebody out there that will cast a Urkela's name. So as much as I'd love to see it, I think that there will be at least one or two that might pass on him just because that'll be how it goes.
So looking at sports reference page here for baseball, Rivera's the only one with the 100%. Seaver in 92 got 68% of the vote.
68.
Yeah, that's what they're saying here.
I gotta research that. I thought
go ahead. I know you're a big Seaver guy, so
yeah.
So
I
Dirk,
thought he did something like that.
Yeah. So do you believe Pujols get 100%?
Well, he definitely first ballot. The problem with the Baseball Writers Association is
they're biased.
There's some guy may personally not like him.
Yep.
And that's the problem. They're a lot of these writers, especially the older ones, these guys are 80 some years old and they still got to vote because they still write. I think they he's a bastard, and I ain't gonna vote for him just because of that. They are not objective.
One reason why Curt Schilling is not in the Hall of Fame.
Oh God, he should be
purely political.
Yep.
It had nothing
because
to do
he made a
on
statement. He
They
stood
didn't like
up
what
for
he
his
said.
beliefs.
Yep.
He should have been a first ballot shoo-in.
Oh yeah. So Chris, how about you? What do you think? Pujols get 100%?
I would like him to, but I think he'll come close.
Okay.
I mean, he's played a long time. He's been good at the game, so I would think why not, but I don't have a vote.
So my buddy's here chiming in. No, if you put him at 100%, you're dating. He's the best batter of all time. So
no, that's not what that says. That's not what that'll mean. The greatest hitter of all times is Ted Williams, followed closely by a couple others.
Admitting, I'm sorry, I can't read.
Yeah,
Admitting
batting,
that he's
hitting, same thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the generation he played with, his year after year after year, 20 years, rarely hurt, pretty good guy on and
No
off the
steroids.
field, multiple all-star games, you know, MVP, batting title, you know, home runs. I mean, he's got all he has to do is get a little hot and he'll get that extra 15 or so home runs he needs to get 700. And that, yes, Bali,
Absolutely.
Yadi, first ballot.
Yeah. And I really hope that Yachty, Pujols, and Wainwright all go in together. I hope they retire together and all go in together. So
that'd be awesome.
I gotta.
And then Jason wants to know pitch clock forward. Or
Jason, slow down.
Well, those have been up there for a little bit. I'm just kind of wrapping up.
Oh, okay.
Here, so.
Let's go back to Yachty.
Okay, go ahead.
A catcher is a different position than a regular fielder.
Yes.
Okay. And there's a couple of guys, I'm on this baseball reference group that throw out stats and everything, and they've been talking about potential Hall of Famers, who should be in the Hall, who shouldn't, right? And of course, Yachty came up, and there was a lot of people that said no because he doesn't have the offensive numbers. Okay, well, he's a catcher. Catchers, you know, not every catcher is Mike Piazza. He was the anomaly, you know. And Yachty, now he had good batting numbers. You know, I think he had a 280-something career batting average, 250 home runs. But, man, he had a rocket arm called the good game, and he did it for a long time.
Yeah.
There's other players that are what they call it is the Hall of Pretty Good, but not Hall of Fame. Regular position players. Okay, that are close, and it's been a topic this week as I've been reading it of all kinds of different players. Yachty, first ballot. Oh God, how can you say no? But people do, you know, because they want. I think the people that are fantasy baseball players that never played baseball, you know, because they weren't good enough. Sorry, and they were like. They just look at batting, and that's what fantasy football does. Batting. Okay. Yeah, he was a pretty good batter. Yes, he was. But he was a great catcher, you know, and that sets the difference. Johnny Bench, pretty good hitter, great catcher, you know, but Johnny Bench went in right away. Yachty, they're pretty similar. Yachty played longer. You know, he's 40, you know, one of the guys, let me know what you guys think of this. They were talking about Fred McGriff, Crime Dog. Okay.
Love the guy.
I thought he was in the Hall of Fame, but he's not.
Nope.
He has 493 career home runs. He's a 284 lifetime batting average, like a 7-8-time All-Star, World Series champion, Gold Glove winner and everything. He's not in the Hall. And then some of the guys are saying, well, you got to hit the magical 500 mark. Well, you know, 25 years ago, and Dave Kingman, you know, 25 years ago, 400 was the magic. You hit 400 bombs, you're in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
It's not a requirement. It's just what it is. But in today's day and age, with everybody hitting more home runs and there's more players and time goes on, there's more guys hitting 500. So if Crime Dog played 2 more months, he would have hit 7 more home runs. And then he'd be in the Hall of Fame. So just 7 hits, basically.
Yep.
He's not in the Hall of Fame or he's not. To me, I thought he was already in. And I'm like, why wouldn't he be? You know, but it's a
it's,
you know,
it's those magic
a lot
numbers.
of players that they were bringing up, and it made me thought this could be maybe every week we could look at a player Hall of Fame worthy but not in. Dale Murphy's not in the Hall of Fame.
Wow. Yeah,
I
maybe
think-
we'll just keep starting our own coast to coast Hall of Fame. Start inducting our own players in. So
Yeah, it's
So,
my feeling of Hall of Fame, just like with basketball, with football. If you say this guy's name, Joe Smith,
no, he's not.
if you have to think about him being in the Hall of Fame, he's not. If you go right away, Hall of Fame, he should be in.
Nope, you're exactly right. So, Greg, I know you're probably saying Yachty's definitely a first ballot.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the guy
What
is
about
like
that incident you had with Yachty at that bar that one time? Something about you spilled his tequila shot or something.
Yachty is just an outstanding player, and to still be behind the plate at 40 years old, still has a rocket arm, still has a high percentage of throwouts. At second base, he's still catching plenty of guys trying to steal second. And he's a good power guy for a catcher. I mean, he's hit a ton of doubles. Him and Wainwright have combined for the most wins, I think, between a pitcher and catcher of all time. Just outstanding teammate, great presence, one team guy. You don't see that.
I was going to say, Yachty's probably going to be the last one to do that too, be a one-team guy. It seems like everybody's leaving. So
yeah, because it seems like now everybody just if a player puts in about 5 years with the team, that's saying something these days because people get moved all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one thing I like about sports is there's never a right or wrong answer. Everybody's got their opinion. Some are coming way out of left field, like saying the A's and Rangers are the best rivalry in baseball.
Well, that guy was higher than Willie Nelson in a hot air balloon. Okay.
Yeah, and then our last comment I'll bring up is by our guy Jake here. He's talking about Pujols still, and again, I'm not saying I don't think Jake wouldn't vote for Pujols, but I get what he's saying that. He's not the best hitter, but he might be talking about Ted Williams because I know you brought that up. But
the way to get 100% is if you have 100% of the baseball writers think that what you did on the field is good.
That's what it comes down to. I mean,
no one said that the guy, Pujols had to be a 400 hitter. It's just his numbers and everything, and his longevity has to. It has to show that he's deserving
if he doesn't get 100% of the votes, it's gonna be because of that pitching outing that he had.
Yeah,
I mean,
either that or there might be a writer that might not be fond.
It's gonna come down to the writers. I mean, we could all sit here and agree that.
Here's Yachty's career stats.
Okay.
76, 59 at bats. Career 279 batting average.
Yep.
Now remember, his first 4, 5, 6 years, he hit like 210, 220, which a lot of catchers they hit like that. Okay. 173 home runs, very respectable. I'm sure he had a couple of 25 home run years and stuff. 1,007 RBIs, very good. Stole 70 bases, so he must have been pretty quick when he was younger. and an ops of 730. So yeah, Greg, he hit a lot of doubles. He
was a great gap. He still is a great gap hitter.
Yeah, he had 400. Yeah, 404 doubles. I mean, so
yeah, and that's awesome.
Yeah, he should be. So
another note about Yachty. Sadly, we're going to see the last of the Molina brothers.
Yep.
Imagine 5 brothers all played Major League Baseball. Mama and Papa must be through the roof proud. And they were all good players. My favorite was Benji. I love that guy. He was so fun to watch. And when he was at the end of his career,
didn't their dad play and his brothers play, so their uncles play baseball too? So I mean,
no, his dad played. I'm not.
I thought
sure
the Molinas
he was a major leaguer or he played.
Okay, maybe I think of a different family tree, but I thought I
recall that. Thinking of the Alou gang.
Alou, that's what I'm thinking of. You're right.
Yeah,
the Alous.
But I know Dad played. But yeah, I mean that's like 30 plus years of a Molina being in the major leagues.
All catches too, right?
All catchers.
Yeah.
You know,
All right, guys. So we hit a little bit. We went a little extra today because we haven't been around for 2 weeks for sure. So, Big Dog Greg, we'll let you close it out. What's your final thoughts and what you got going on?
Well, my final thought, actually, it's not a baseball topic, but it's something that really kind of struck a chord with me. I read a quote that Kyle Lowry wrote about what a waste of a season it was because the Heat didn't make it to the finals, and anything less than making it to the finals was a waste. And I would encourage anybody that's playing sports to not try to have that kind of outlook that it's, finals or bust or championship or bust, because every game that you play has value. Are you improving as a player? Are you improving as a teammate, as a citizen? Are you developing more skills? So every time you go out there, it's an opportunity to really, really push yourself. So I personally didn't like that. I understand the intensity of it. But anybody getting into sports and thinking about getting into competitive sports, that's not the right outlook, because there's always room for improvement. And from playing sports, in high school and college, there's nothing better than that. So if you're going out and you're still having fun and you find passion and still have a love for the game, I wouldn't consider that a waste. So I wish that was a statement that he wouldn't have said, because I think that people really need to, if they're into sports, really just need to enjoy the game and take away the values that the games can instill in us.
Exactly. Well put, Greg. Coach D, how about you? How's your Rattlers doing? What they got playing?
Well, we finished our season with 2 losses, but our 15 and 16-year-olds were playing a team of 17 and 18-year-olds. So we knew we'd lose, but we played well. We kind of kept the game close for a little while, and then we ran out of pitching. So summer off. On a good note, one young man that I coached 2 years ago, he signed a letter of intent to play with a junior college here in Dallas, Arlington Baptist. So he's going to play some junior college baseball, which is good. He's a good player. I have no idea why his high school didn't sign him on to play. Marcus High School is a powerhouse, and I just think they lost out on a really good player, because he's an awesome player, good guy, great teammate, you can put him in any position and he does well. Probably in college they'll find him a position. I'm thinking it'll be second base, maybe catcher, definitely not pitcher, even though he pitches pretty good, but he doesn't throw 90 like college does.
Yeah.
To touch on what Greg said, yes, you're right. And what Lowry said, fans like to hear that. Okay. Now, that championship is not the end all be all. You should always strive to win. Okay. And do your best and help your teammates. Okay. As long as when you go out there, if you gave it your all and you didn't win, well, that's the other team was better. The other guy was better. Okay. So what you do, you go back, you train harder, you work, you use it as motivation. Okay. Don't say you're a failure. Dude, you're in the NBA. You're not a failure. I think he was trying to come up with some kind of profound statement. Okay.
Right.
Fans like to hear that, oh, I'm disappointed we make it, but I don't want to hear you say you failed. Okay. Regroup, say something like, okay, I'm going to work hard this winter. Hopefully get a couple of new guys in. We're going to come back next year and try. You always try. The 2 things you control 100% yourself as an athlete is your attitude and your effort. Okay. Mm-hmm. Nobody else has anything to do with that. You do 100%. So if you gave your all and you still came up short, okay, you're not happy. Okay. But you gave your all. So it should motivate you to get better right? Train different, maybe eat better, do something like that. So I think that's what he was hopefully maybe trying to say, because he doesn't really talk a lot, but they, reporters going to go ask, what do you think about losing it? Well, it's a failure. You can look at it that way. You failed. You had your hopes set on the top, the trophy. Okay. But you didn't fail. Another team beat you. That's why we play the games. Next time you come out on top. Does that mean the other team failed? No. Okay. Just give it your all. 100%. That's all we as coaches, as fans, and sports fanatics. That's all we want our players to do. Give it your all.
Yep.
That's if I coach a team and then we lose a game 8-7, but my guys were out there, they were in the dirt, they're diving to catch balls, they're 100% running everything out. Sometimes you don't win, but I saw the effort. You guys, you could say you deserved to win, but the other team was better. That happens.
Yeah.
It happens in life and it happens in sports. So make yourself better.
Yep. No, exactly. Chris, how about you? What do you got going on?
Coming up, we're gonna do Tuesday Night Mania, talk a little wrestling, but like you guys said, when you watch sports or play sports, just concentrate on it. Doesn't have to be news or anything be brought up. It's just entertainment. Enjoy it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, so like Chris said, top of the hour, we'll be bringing out Tuesday Night Mania. Just keep checking out Coast to Coast. We got a couple things in the works. I know a couple guys behind the scenes are working on some other shows and other possibilities. Big shout out to our man Jason Barber, J-Mac, as you know him, and Chris. They put a hell of a show on Saturday for the Oregon Cougars women's professional league team that won their last game. So I think we're still waiting to see if they make the playoffs or not. But with that being said, I'm Big B with my man Crispy Bacon, Coach D, and Big Dog Greg. We'll see y'all next Tuesday on deck. Have a good one.